This has been a summer of extreme heat weather coverage.
We begin with the extreme heat.
That extreme heat, relentless heat wave.
To the extreme heat,
an unbearable heat wave.
Some say this summer was the hottest on record, while 2/3 of Americans in a PBS Marist poll now say climate change is affecting the weather.
People are starting to realize that there is an effect.
This definitely feels like we're in that point of no return that people have talked about for a long time.
The UN Secretary General has called for immediate action on climate change.
Global warming has ended. The era of global boiling has arrived.
Weather history, however, tells a different story, that the worst weather events, including the hottest year, have all been in the past. The worst hurricane in history, the Great Hurricane of 1780, which killed over 20,000 people in the Caribbean. The worst wildfire in U.S. history, the Peshtigo, Wisconsin fire in 1871, which killed at least 1,500 people and burned over 1 million acres. The worst flood in world history was in 1931, the Yangtze River flood in China, which killed almost 4 million people. The worst flood in U.S. history was in 1889 in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The deadliest tornado in recorded U.S. history was in 1925, the Tri-State Tornado, which struck Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, killing some 700 people. And the hottest year was in 1936.
A heat wave in America and hundreds of thousands leave New York.
In 1936, 21 states set their all-time temperature records.
The 1930s were extremely hot. 1936 is the hottest year on record in the United States, and probably throughout the Northern Hemisphere.
Some northern cities saw temperatures between 115 and 120 degrees. Many thousands died across the country, and the resulting Dust Bowl forced the migration of 3.5 million climate refugees out of the Great Plains and Midwest. Weather Bell chief forecaster Joe Bistardi and other experts blamed this summer's sweltering temperatures on a huge amount of water vapor created by an intense underwater volcanic eruption in Tonga last year, and also by warming oceans.
Yeah, there's been an increase in what we call geothermal spreading since the early 1990s. And what it does is it develops a cumulative buildup of heat in the oceans, which then has to be released through the El Niños, which then puts all sorts of water vapor in the air, which then leads to the warming that you're seeing. It's all water vapor.
There have also been record cold temperatures this summer. But that weather news is ignored. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis reminded reporters that while Hurricane Idalia was very damaging, it paled in comparison to the Category 5 Labor Day storm of 1935. With peak winds of 200 miles per hour, it killed more than 400 people.
There were people that got caught up in the storm. Their clothes got ripped off their bodies. The wind was so strong. So I think that the notion that somehow hurricanes are something new, that's just false. And we've got to stop politicizing the weather and stop politicizing natural disasters.
You know, it's a very complicated issue that the alarmists just want to boil down to, fossil fuel use is destroying the planet. The whole climate is a lot more complicated.
Summers in the U.S. are supposed to be hot, something even the Babylon Bee noticed. Dale Hurd, CBN News.